Hi, and welcome to Moves That Matter. I'm your host, Dr. Clyde Posley, Jr., and we are here again with great teaching, great instruction, and straight talk right out of the Bible and about biblical principles applied to political situations. And so I'm looking forward to this show. I've got a guest with me, one of my he's really not my guest, he's getting to be kind of my co-host because we're going to be doing a teaching that's specifically about men at least once a week. I'm called to do that. At least once a month. I'm sorry. But I'm called to do that. And so let me tell you a couple of things before I get into the discussion with my guest today. And that is, I want to remind you about my book, More Than Icons and Images, Uncovering the Hidden Protest Narrative of the Black American Athlete in the 21st Century. And I want to just say a quick something about that. Black American athletes and their political voice should never be suppressed. If people want to merchandise and enjoy the benefits of our physicality, they need to respect our intellect and political prowess as well. This is true for the college athlete, it's true for the professional athlete. I am more than just a basketball, a football, or a tennis racket, a user of a tennis racket. I am more than athlete. I'm not an athlete who's a student. I'm a student that happens to be an athlete. I'm not just a man that plays a sport, for example. I happen to be a man. If sports leaves my life, my voice can never be squashed, because the moment you squash my voice, you squash my identity and my ability to be represented on my terms. Also, I want to say this about our Kingdom Men Street Ministry. We're having a power breakfast on November 16th, Saturday, November 16th at 9 a.m. at the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church on the corner of 32nd and College. The address is 704 East 32nd Street. You pay attention to the flyer that's before you right now, you'll be able to get there. The breakfast is free. Brother Eric Simmons, who's the director of our Kingdom Men Street Ministry, is going to be there. We're going to be giving you more information about what our objectives are, what is the Kingdom Street Ministry is and what it's about. And when we continue to formulate our processes, you're going to get more information and you're going to want to be involved with what we're doing. I'm going to be back with a discussion with my powerful guest today. And we're going to talk a little further about men and ministry. You do not want to miss this straight to the point, raw conversation. I will be right back. God bless you. Hi, we're back. And in case I didn't remind you in our opening, I want you to hit share. Please, I need you to hit share. My goal today is 50 shares for this important conversation. And so, as we continue our development of our Kingdom Men Street Ministry, I've invited, once again, Brother Eric Simmons with us. Glad to have him.
Glad to be
here. This brother is proven to be a strong man. He's gone through the processes in life that make a man a strong man, and that's why he's on my show. I'm glad to have him. He's working with me in ministry, and we are formulating a creative approach to trying to save men. Yeah, we're focused on African-American men, but we're not solely focused on African-American men. We're after the souls of men. And so that would include Caucasian men, Latino men, Asian men, any man who will open his heart to the love of Jesus Christ. We're making ourselves available to that brother. And so Brother Eric Simmons is director of our Kingdom Men Street Ministry. And I said to you that it's creative, it's innovative. We're going to take some different approaches to that. But I'm going to welcome Brother Simmons in and just let him open up and kind of talk to us about the Kingdom Men Street Ministry and give him some space to express what the Lord has done to him that makes him feel now is the time to do this Kingdom Street Ministry. Mr. Simmons?
Thank you, Pastor Posley. Listen, we're here trying to do some things that haven't been done, I believe, in the city of Indianapolis before.
That's right.
Kingdom Men Street Ministry is a dynamic ministry that we're going to kick off on November the 16th with our Power Breakfast.
Absolutely.
We're very serious about this. Men are dying in the streets. There's a lack of empathy, I believe, by our government and other entities that are not allowing our men to be successful.
I agree.
I think men run to crime because of lack of opportunity.
I would agree. I would agree. I think poverty is one of the greatest purveyors of crime in the world. And what I mean by that is when people don't have resources, not only when they don't have resources, but when it becomes more and more clear to them, Brother Simmons, that someone is working against their resources, meaning someone is working against their education development, or someone is working against their ability to get fair housing or fair job training, or the justice system is unfairly sentencing them, keeping them in jail longer for minor offenses than their white counterparts. It makes crime a larger option, a bigger option, and ministry. We believe, Brother Simmons and I, along with some of you, we believe that Jesus Christ can change that, but we have to package Jesus differently in this age. What do you think about that?
We do, yeah. We have to package it differently. Listen, a lot of men are alienated from the church. They're not going to come.
Why do you think that? Talk a little bit about that.
You know what I think over the years, young brothers have went to church maybe, and they've seen some things that maybe set them back in terms of, man, if that's what they're doing in the church,
right,
I don't want to be a part of that.
Right.
So they go back. They go back to the streets. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to come up with a plan, and we've come up with it after months and months of Dr. Posley and I talking. We're going to get out on the streets and take the Kingdom Men ministry to the brothers. We're going to take it to the brothers and try to get them to understand that we care, we're here, and it's more than just us going out on the corners and talking to these young men.
Right.
We're going to provide training. We've reached out to employers in the community.
Absolutely.
We're going to help them totally in changing their lives and trying to get themselves back to where they need to be assets to their family and the community.
Absolutely. My son, Joshua Posley, works with the YES program. It's a program designed to help 16 to 24-year-olds who are displaced economically, socially, to get job training. They provide Ubers for them. They provide them training.
Wow.
They work with us. We try to provide them clothes, shoes for interviews. They provide them interview training. So I brought this up because this is not something. We're gonna develop our ministry. We're gonna prepare and train people to go in the street and do our ministry, but we also intend to partner with other ministries.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
it's just not, we're not suggesting to any other ministry that you guys aren't doing anything, nobody else is doing anything. What we're saying is we're here, and we have some particular gifts and training from our journeys.
That's right.
And the journeys of the men that we've spoken to that we want to apply to the men in these streets. Brother Simmons, a lot of men and several men have talked to me in the street and told me that nobody from the church comes to where they hang out.
That's right.
If you go over
That's
by
right.
On East Street, for example, over by Maxine's Chicken and Waffles.
Sure.
It's always brothers laid out there in the alleys, man.
I see it often.
Out there in the street.
Yeah.
And some of those brothers, I've talked to a couple of them, they said, man, churches don't really, and let me say this. They say if churches do come over here, it's white churches. So they're out in the street, man. I when I go to different schools where I speak and different things, man, I see brothers walking down the street. I wonder what we are doing, not only to go, but sustain the efforts that we are trying to make when we go. I think, talk about that. What can we do to sustain? So we initially meet them, but we got to have follow-up. We got to have something for them to do in ministry. And they may never come to our churches, but what can we do to perpetuate our meeting with them?
Well, the initial touching point is to get out on the street and have conversation and welcome them to what we're trying to do.
Absolutely, and explain ourselves.
Right. This is not just us going out one Saturday a month.
Right.
We're going to be out on the streets daily. We'll have men that we prepare. This is not a joke. This is something that we're serious about. Right. We're taking this into effect very soon, and at the end of the day, we're saving lives, man. We want guys to know, we want young street brothers to know that the end it all is not the street. And as Dr. Posley said, churches not coming out to the community, especially black churches, man, we can send missionaries halfway around the world.
Absolutely.
But we got brothers here starving for affection, starving for the ability to make something happen in their lives. And if they don't know better, they don't do better.
Exactly.
So we're here to help them know better, teach them.
That's powerful. That help. You know, it came to my mind while you were talking, Brother Simmons, that, and again, you know, I want to tread lightly here because I don't want to, not too lightly though, because this is our show. So,
yes, sir.
But check this out. One thing I want to avoid, because we just raised, you know, you and I just spearheaded a campaign to raise almost 300 suits,
outstanding
and
campaign,
shirts, and also
yes.
So we are doing ministry. It's not like we're just talking. We're doing it. But one of the things I want to avoid is the seasonal ministry.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of churches, and I can say this because I'm a pastor, been doing this for approximately 30 years. A lot of churches are great at seasonal ministry, giving out some baskets. Mm-hmm. Not that that's not important, because we feed people at Christmas time, at Thanksgiving time and Christmas. But buying kids Christmas presents, or buying men Christmas gifts, or feeding them a Thanksgiving dinner is a part of ministry.
Sure.
They are hurting 12 months out of the year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When it's hot out there and the crime rate goes up,
sure.
We got to have something for these people to do. We got to have fellowships with them. We need to have that's when we are keeping making the relationship strong. Because I would like to meet some brothers in January, February, and March who actually help me go out and get other brothers at Thanksgiving and Christmas time the next year.
That's
because
right.
If we're not recycling these brothers and turning them into extensions of our ministry, I don't want them to stay a mission forever.
That's right.
And I think I just said something that I think is significant. We have to be careful to have serious commitment and follow-up and training the minds of these brothers that we encounter so they don't stay a mission forever. Because a lot of times we go after people, Simmons, and we always see them as we saw them.
Yeah,
we met them as a mission.
That's a good point.
And they always stay as a mission. Yeah. I want them to come in here. I want to be able to bring them on my show. I had a sister in here a few weeks ago, was in the street.
I remember.
On drugs.
I seen that.
She's
show.
no longer a mission. Yeah. She's now an author. She's saved. And we got to get brothers to the place where they're no longer a mission. And I think that comes with us addressing the mind. How do you think we can address the mind of some of the brothers? What are some of the problems in the mind of some of the brothers that we need to address that keeps them from being an eternal mission?
I think the mindset of some of the brothers, man, they've been out there so long, and they've just said,
that's their new norm. That's their norm.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to stay out here and be a hood brother because nobody cares for me. But brothers, I'm here to tell you, you're wrong. You're wrong. Clyde and I have prayed. We didn't just jump into this ministry overnight.
Exactly.
This is a 6-month process
that
we're going to execute. And our plan is for you not to be somebody dependent on us the whole entire time. You're going to get out here and give back.
That's right.
The Lord has spoken to me. I've humbled myself. Dr. Posley has mentored me, and I'm very appreciative of that. Now it's time for us to get out and share the gifts that we have to help young men get to where they're trying to go.
That's powerful. You know, Brother Cedric King,
Yes.
Came to our church.
Yes, sir. Outstanding young brother.
Absolutely. Came to our church. He said something, and this is not me tooting my horn. It's got to do with a point I'm trying to make. He said one of the things that he encountered when you introduced him to me was my effort to be a doer, not just somebody talking about it.
That's right.
Anybody who knows me know, and I'm not looking in the camera saying I'm perfect at doing everything I set out to do. And I don't think any of us are.
No.
But the question came to my mind, Simmons, and I want you to address this.
Sure.
One of the issues that men have with other men that create in the mindset, we're talking about the mindset, that make a lot of men skittish about accepting ministry for men or trusting in ministry as men is so many broken promises.
Yeah.
A lot of brothers are in the street because of broken promises.
Yeah.
They're a distorted relationship with a man. And if you look all over the world, all over the country, man, I'll even dare say with the Catholic Church, you have a lot of young men and the rise of certain proclivities in men from pain that other men have caused them.
No doubt.
And
it's documented.
They took the word out of my mouth. It's documented.
Yes.
What can we do to help? And I want men and the people who are listening, women who are listening to us, you have sons, I want you to get this point right here. We are doing something. We're trying to do something. We didn't just go get those suits because we thought it'd be a good idea.
No, we didn't.
I've already given out a couple.
Yeah.
So we are doing something. It's so easy to dog out men when you don't know their history about them being promise breakers or not doing what they said, but sometimes that's all they knew.
That's it.
Talk about that, man, because I know that you know brothers, man, who's suffering today because they've never recovered.
I do.
From men and their broken promises.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough. Men have reached out to brothers in the past, maybe said some things, said they were going to do some things, and they didn't come through. And that is a spirit killer.
That's right.
That is a spirit killer. So what we're going to do with Kingdom Men, our word is our bond. We're going to make sure that the brothers that we have out here mentoring and doing things understand that when you make a promise, you have to keep that promise.
That's powerful.
We're not out here playing. This is not that. This is about legacy for Dr. Posley and I. I think I got more days behind me than in front. I'm trying to make an impact on our city, man, and this is the way to do it. God has spoken, and I obey what God says. That's
I like that. So here's what Kingdom Ministry is going to look like. Kingdom Street Ministry is going to look like when it's functioning well. We are clothing the naked. We've already procured almost 300 suits. We are feeding the hungry. We are visiting the prisons. We are preaching the gospel to every creature. When you see the kingdom, and we're going to judge ourselves. We're going to do analytics.
Sure.
We're going to look to see this is the amount of people we've encountered. Here are the results, which will show us where we are not accomplishing one of our 5 core pillars. So this ministry is successful when we have a group of men who are specifically going to the prisons. We have a group of men who specifically specialize in the actual touch, hand-on street ministry. There are some who are going to run when we have a street a soup kitchen where we feed men daily. And actually teach them the word of God. We may open ourselves up, may open the church up, maybe the church until we do something different for 2 hours every day where they can come in, get fed, hear the word of God, and with no strings attached. When there are some men who are struggling with mental illness and emotional down, we're going to provide that. We're going to get them connected to agencies, and we're going to keep records of the men that we encounter, because after all, every man is not going to join the Antioch church because we do this ministry. No. But the Antioch church is not the priority.
That's right.
This is the Kingdom Men.
That's right.
Street ministry.
Yes, sir.
What if Pastor, you want people to join your church? Sure, every pastor wants laborers, but I would rather Jesus be pleased with the overall effort that we're making. He will add to the church daily. One more question, man, and I'm not gonna hold this was because I want to talk a little about something different. Tell me why you think there's not more public men's ministry in the African American community. We know the problems. We see the murder rate. Why do you think there aren't more men's ministries publicly functioning consistently?
You know what, Doc? I just feel like sometimes brothers.
And you can be direct. It's fine.
You know I am.
Okay.
I think sometimes, man, the brothers say, I'm here, I'm in the church, we're doing things. I got mine. You got to get yours. But where have that gotten us? Why are we still in the situation that we're in?
That's true.
I think that at the end of the day, the human touch is underrated. If I care about a brother,
right,
I don't care what his situation is.
Right.
I'm going to hug him.
That's right.
I don't care if he's nasty, dirty.
That's right.
I'm going to bring the love, man, because I think that's the
powerful.
way that we going to get to where we're trying to go.
That's powerful, man.
This has to happen. See, in Indianapolis, this isn't just about you. This is about men all over the country that are struggling. Indianapolis is just our platform.
Right.
But we're going to move this forward,
right.
man.
I'm listening. I hope everybody's hearing this. I wish you could feel the power and the passion in the room, not just in this room right now, but when Brother Simmons talks about this, man. We talk about it weekly. We driving up to see his son the other day. It's because it's in our hearts, and also it takes, as Brother Simmons was just saying, it takes love. If you be real, and the men who matter the most and have been the most impactful in our lives are normally those men who embraced us in a dark moment.
That's right.
In a difficult time.
Yes, sir.
And they may not have even known. I know I've been blessed by some brothers, that didn't know that they were coming alongside me at a moment, man. I needed them.
Yeah.
I needed them.
Sure.
I needed them. I was sharing the other day. My father is 94, so he's in his 40s when I was born, and so he's not very inclined relative to sports, and it's not something that other than baseball, and so a lot of what I had to learn about trial and error and some men in the street, coaches, different stuff like that. What we're doing has so many possibilities, because I'd like to see, and I've talked to the youth director at our church about this, that we start a sports program specifically for the kid that doesn't have options.
Okay.
As well as some accelerated programs, some programs for the kid rather that excels. Pastor Brian Hudson was talking to us once before, and he mentioned that we often create programs for youngsters who are disenfranchised, but all of the people that we encounter are not disenfranchised. Sometimes there's an excellent student, and we need something to massage that.
We do, and
develop that too,
because they get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. Because there are some and racism and shall I say classism, all these other things rear their head as an assault sometime against the gifted student.
Oh yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it's a fact. What you say. Racism is here to stay. And we get the brunt of what's going on out here, man. As you know, my son is dealing with a situation. Maybe that's for another show, but
or not. You talk about that at the level you would like, because he's a black man that we want to be a part of our program, and there are all facets of dealing with being a black man where people try to hold him back. You talk about it at your leisure.
Well, he's dealing with something right now with a coach at his college, and he's being retaliated against because he spoke to administration about some issues in regards to race that was happening on his campus with his coach. Mm-hmm. So now he's the brunt of retaliation against his coach, who's trying to interfere with his future. But as Pastor and I talked, we spoke, mm-hmm. God got him, but in the midst of God getting him, like Fannie Lou Hamer says, you can pray until you faint. But if you don't get up and do something about it,
that's right.
God is not going to put it in your lap.
Right.
So we're getting up and doing something about it.
Absolutely. This is important. This is important because when you're dealing with kingdom men, there's a lot of all of us, all the men that need support aren't homeless. Mm-mm. Or they aren't jobless.
No.
Some of them are strong and are facing corporate situations where they need somebody to come alongside and remind them that they have voice and strength, and that they're being insulted by an attack that's trying to keep them quiet. You know, this is, and it's important that we train all the men that we encounter. We can't deal with somebody who's helpless and then not be willing to help the one who just needs some guidance. Holistically, we have to approach it all.
Yes, sir.
Because if we love one type of man, we got to love every type of man. That's how I see it.
It has to be that way.
Exactly.
It has to be that way because we're here to attack a number of issues that's going on in our community.
That's where we're going.
Not just homelessness, not just men out here dealing with alcoholism or drugs, mm-hmm. but the mental capacity that some men have mm-hmm. are under attack.
Yeah. And the pressures. Right.
And they need that addressed as well.
That's right. That's right.
So we need laborers to be a part of this ministry. If you just want to come along for the glitz and the glory, this may not be the ministry.
This may not be the ministry to you, because we're gonna see some things, some raw things, and we're going to love it. Love that person in that condition. Man, we could go on and on and on.
That's right.
Every time you come on the show, this happens, man, because your heart is in what you're doing. And I'm telling you, I'm looking into the camera and decreeing, this is going to transform thousands of lives.
Yes, sir.
God's going to arrange it. Listen, thank you for being here, my brother.
My pleasure.
All right,
brother.
We're looking forward to seeing everybody out November the 16th, Saturday, November the 16th, 9 a.m., 704 East 32nd Street. That flyer that's on the screen is giving you the directions that you need. This is Brother Eric Simmons, the director of our Kingdom Men Street Ministry. That power breakfast is Saturday, November 16th, 9 a.m., 704 East 32nd Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. Free breakfast, won't cost you a thing. I promise you, you're going to be blessed. We're looking forward to seeing you. And as always, keep in mind, you are always making moves every day, no matter what you do. But what you can do while you're making these moves is choose to make your moves that matter. I'm your host, Dr. Clyde Posley, and on behalf of my guest, Brother Eric Dwayne Simmons, we bid you adieu. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.